Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Thursday, it's September 28th. It is 2023. We have 5 baseball games to talk about here on today's podcast. Joined today by my good buddy, Will Priester, ChiefJustice06. Chief, baseball season winding down here. A lot of games that matter still for a lot of teams, really. Like this playoff race is really close in both the NL and the AL. So watching that for sure. And yeah, man, ready and excited to talk some baseball with you and have some fun here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Still a lot of baseball to be played. A lot of people still in the running. A lot of people still trying to, cement their place in the playoffs and in the wild cards. So it's good times and hopefully we'll see some good baseball here down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm listen. Like we called this the morning grind because we're grinding, right? Like we're not stopping. Like baseball season's still rolling. We're gonna keep talking baseball. I mean, there's still plenty of teams to build, and I feel like a slate like that competes with Thursday night football, we might have a little bit more edge with people focusing on Thursday night football than baseball, and we get a nice little 5-gamer here. So let's talk some baseball. Third podcast for me today. We did the NFL podcast at 7, and then we recorded the NASCAR podcast at 9. So I'm getting all the sports in and having fun doing it. But if I yawn a little bit, don't mind me.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. I'm here and I'm grinding for you all. Let's talk baseball. We get started with New York at Toronto. 8.5 total in this game. The Blue Jays are 180 favorite. We got Luke Weaver against Chris Bassett. Let's talk Luke Weaver first. I kind of struggling just in general this season. I mean, this is not the craziest matchup in the world because of how right-handed this team is. But, I mean, we just kind of watched Garrett Cole have a good game, not a great game, a good game. What are your thoughts here on Luke Weaver?
I just don't really want to get involved with Luke Weaver. I know that um, generally speaking, he's a guy that is typically going to be fairly good against righties, but um, the pitch count's still fairly low. He's 6,700. Um, could be a necessary evil on this slate, but I think I'm going to take the fade.
Yeah, I think I take the fade as well. Just really hasn't shown like a tremendous amount of upside. Like last season, he had some decent strikeout ability against righties, but it's just dipped so much this year. He's just not the
Yep.
same pitcher. So I think this is a spot I will stay away.
Yep.
Again, I don't see a ton of upside. Bassett on the other side, I mean, the Blue Jays they need to win some games here down
Yeah.
the stretch. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're necessarily safe. Like Seattle is still very much like within and Toronto losing on Wednesday night was kind of big. So, yeah, I mean, I think they really need Bassett to have a good game here.
Yeah, Seattle's still playing right now against Houston. So, if Seattle beats Houston today, then they're a wild card team, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think Seattle's 85. Yeah, Seattle's 85 and 72. Houston's 86 and 72. So it's getting interesting. The only person safe right now is Tampa Bay in terms of wild card. So yeah, they need to win. Hopefully, I'm sure Chris Bassett is going to be trying to pitch well, and I still like Bassett in this spot at 8,600. I don't like him as much for strikeouts. The Yankees have been striking out some, but I mean, I think what we're hoping for with Bassett is he just has a nice, consistent, clean game. So if he goes 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, doesn't get pounded, I think we're good. Excuse me. He's got upside for 7 innings. And if things are going really well, he's got upside for 8. So I like Bassett at 8,600. Feels like an okay play in this spot, considering the Yankees' strikeout issues here down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean Bassett too. Like when you are looking at Bassett's like season numbers, he has been a lot better at limiting damage against righties, and this lineup is just so right-handed heavy. So I think this is a spot we just kind of trust the talent and play the matchup. It is a 5-game slate, and some of the pitchers on the slate are awful, just being honest. So just like the overall upside for Bassett. As far as bats in this game, Aaron Judge, 2-home-run game on Wednesday night. He has that ceiling against anybody. What are your thoughts when it comes to the Yankees?
Yeah, smaller slate. I guess I'm kind of willing to expand the pool a little bit. So I'd probably still, be able to try to get some Judge in, even though we feel like he's probably going to not have as good of a game. I mean, Austin Wells at 3K, I think, is still in the mix. I mean, he's 3K catcher. I still don't hate Glaber, but I'm not stacking the Yankees. This is a one-off team for me at best.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same way. I really want to attack him with like lefties, so that's what you always kind of find issues with the Yankees lineup. Florial at 2,500. If he hits fifth again, I don't mind taking a shot on him at 2,500 here. So as far as the Blue Jays go, I kind of like the Blue Jays today. Like again, they need to win these games. These are big games here, and like I feel like they take advantage of a matchup with Luke Weaver, bounce back, and finish the series big with a big win over the Yankees today.
Yeah, I like that call for sure. Springer, I mean, the whole team, Springer, Merrifield. I mean, Varsho's 3,100. I think these are really good prices. Bichette's 51, Chapman's 41. I like the team overall. You got to make a decision, at least on DraftKings, between Vlad and Brandon Belt. Probably still go Vlad here. And I could take the discount, but I still think Vlad's a better hitter than Brandon Belt, and so that's the way I would play it.
Yeah. Moving on, we got Miami at New York facing the Mets. 7.5 total in this game. Marlins a 135 favorite. Obviously the Mets out of it, and the Marlins
completely out.
Marlins are still fighting. I mean, that's, I think, the best way to put it. They're still fighting. So we'll see how this kind of plays out.
They're not that far behind. I mean, the Cubs lost again tonight.
Yeah, Marlins half a game back on the Cubs. So Keith is over there going, what is going on? Luzardo and Peterson. Luzardo a favorite, Miami a favorite. What are your thoughts here on Jesus Luzardo at 9K?
Yeah, I like him today. I mean, he's going to have to try to show his best stuff, Stevie. If they can get this game and the Cubs lose again tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, Miami's gonna be in the wild card, because I think then the Cubs would be a half game behind. So this is a really big spot for the Miami Marlins to finally, Stevie, get back into some type of a playoff run and get up off the mat here. And so I like Jesus Luzardo quite a bit. The Mets have not been rolling out powerful lineups down the stretch here. A lot of guys that have been striking out a ton. So I think we see something similar here. And so Luzardo at 9K, I think he's a quality pitcher today if he brings his best stuff.
Yeah, Miami got blown out in the early part of the doubleheader on Wednesday, but they're putting together a ninth inning here against the Mets as we're actually recording, and they've taken the lead with bases loaded and no outs. So they have a chance to be in a good spot. I think they would be tied with the Cubs if they win this game. So
yeah.
I think, again, this is just one of those spots. It's a 5-game slate. You play the talent and take some shots on Luzardo's ceiling in this matchup. Good ballpark, too, for pitching. The Mets side with Peterson, I mean, Miami, trade deadline Miami is so much better against left-handed pitching. I don't think I want to play David Peterson in this spot.
Yeah, not at all.
Kind of like the Marlins bats. Let's talk about these Marlins bats. Peterson, lefty. Obviously, Soler has been one of the best hitters in baseball against left-handed pitching this season. Love this spot for him. Like the spot for Berger as well. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, Josh Bell has been good, so that's probably where I would get my 3-man. If Garrett Hampson cracks the lineup, he's cheap. I don't mind a mini stack for the Marlins today, but don't think I'd full stack them in this ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Ballpark is definitely going to be the issue. But, we're talking about Peterson here. I mean, man, Soler's is hit lefties really well. Ultimate one-off play here for sure. He would probably be my favorite bat out of this bunch. And then we're just kind of building around him some little mini stacks. I like that call a
ton. Marlins or Mets bats. Sorry, not Marlins bats. Mets bats here. I mean, obviously Alonso and Lindor both under 5K. They just have so much upside against left-handed pitching. Those would be the guys that I'd be targeting here.
Absolutely, and I was going to say the same thing, Stevie. Like, these are just ultimate one-off plays. I don't feel like I have to load up on the Mets, but on a 5-game slate, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, on a 5-game slate, Stevie, I think it's worth it. Even in this situation, Stevie, even if playing Luzardo, I don't mind having Alonso or Lindor against him. I don't think I'd play them both, but one of them could absolutely hit a home run and get walked or something, and they'd have enough fantasy points, I think, to help you take down a GPP on a 5-gamer.
Yeah, I mean, just the ceiling of those guys against any lefty. All right, Cubs and Braves.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we got an opener situation for Chicago. It sounds like Stroman's going to open. Assad's going to come in and pitch in bulk, but we don't know how deep Stroman's going to go. I assume they'll try to get Stroman to go 2 or 3 innings in this game, maybe 4. Guess. And then we have no idea who's pitching for the Braves today. So we'll have to kind of pay attention to that. It sounds like it could be Dylan Dodd pitching for Atlanta, but we'll see.
That's what I'm afraid of in our run, pitching.
Yeah. Jeez. What are your thoughts here on the Cubs bets or pitching situation, not bets?
I'm not playing either one of these guys, and thank God Stroman and Assad are pitching. We still might have a chance to win a game, even though we're clearing away in the playoffs and fine. But we just want to keep playing well. I'm not touching these Cubs pitchers for what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't think I'm touching it as well. Okay, I say this. This is the thing, right? Atlanta win, they've clinched, right? They have home field. They've clinched now. So
are you thinking they're going to roll out bad lineups like Philly did tonight?
I mean, did you see the Milwaukee lineup? Like, woo.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, I don't know.
Stevie,
the problem is we just don't know how far Stroman will go. Like, will they give him 75, 85 pitches here and he gets 5 innings? Like,
but if that's the case, he's not pitching long relief. That's a normal start.
I know. I'm just saying they let him go 64 pitches in this opener situation last time. Like, if he's pitching well, the Cubs need to win every single game.
I know.
I don't know.
Like, if they lose, which they very well could just continue losing because they got one more game in this series, I think tomorrow's the last day. If they lose and Miami wins, they're now not in the wild card, and Miami's in. So I'm with you. And then believe it or not, Stevie, and I know this is like an aside, but I do think this is important now that we're getting down to the dog days. Cincinnati's not out either. Like, if they win, they can still creep up. So they've got to win. I think if the Braves roll out our absolute worst lineup, which is still probably going to include Rosario, Pilar, it's still not going to be bad. That's the problem. Michael Harris could even still play. They'll probably rest Albies, Olsen, Riley, Acuna.
Yeah.
But then Ozuna still plays. I don't know. Or maybe they'll get creative and rest 2 of them and play the rest. I don't know. But either way, I still don't like this Cubs situation, bottom line.
Yeah, if we had a legit starter, just about anybody, just about any pitcher for the Cubs today, and the Atlanta rolled out one of the B. I mean, they're going to have a AAA squad, and their AAA squad is better than most. I mean, I have to think Acuna, Olsen, Albies, Riley.
Well, at least 2 of those guys.
I think all 4 of those guys sit in this game. They have earned it. I think Acuna got stolen base number 70 tonight. I mean, just why? Like, give these guys a day. You celebrate when you clinch home field. I mean, they're drinking champagne at home right now in Atlanta. So they finished the season with the Nationals too, the weekend series. So I feel like Atlanta is going to have some watered down lineups for the next 4 games. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. As far as like if it is Dylan Dodd, I'm probably not touching Dylan Dodd. I wouldn't be shocked if we get like Dylan Dodd in a bullpen game from the Braves today and they just punt this game. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. This is a lineup dependent. Let's just call this a lineup dependent situation.
I mean, the flip side of it is if you're Atlanta, do you try to win this game to try to keep the Cubs out? Would you rather have Miami and Cincinnati? I don't know. Like it's an interesting spot. Like, cause you can rest people against Washington this weekend. Like, those games mean absolutely nothing. So
yeah,
pay attention. I mean,
well, you know what? That might be the case because we're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're at home.
I mean, they're at home this weekend too. They're in Atlanta for Washington. So I mean, yeah, just pay attention to the lineups. Let's talk bats here. If it is Dodd, I have interest in the Cubs bats. Like, this is a lefty that really hasn't shown the ability to go out and dominate lineups. So, I mean, if it is Dylan Dodd, low strikeout pitcher, gives up a ton of power, I think this is a really good spot for the Cubs bats.
Yeah, and we know the Cubs are going to bring their A game.
Oh, yeah. They have to win every game.
Morel, Suzuki, but I know he's a lefty. We'll see Dansby. Probably see the Candyman Horn. Like, you're going to get an 8-team lineup from the Cubs. So I'm in on the Cubs bats, even if the Braves bats start, Stevie. Like, I am in on their A+ lineup because we're going to get their best of the best. So I like this team a ton.
Yeah, and like Candelario's back. He has been great against left-handed pitching this season. Yeah. So him, Swanson, Suzuki, Happ, just kind of see what the lineup looks like. As far as Atlanta, I mean, this is going to be strictly lineup based. Depends on who's out there. If they roll out a normal lineup, in my head, I'm going to be like, all right, they're trying to win this game and keep the Cubs out. If we get a B squad, not going to have a ton of interest. We could see any kind of lineup from the Braves today. I think they try to win this game and try to keep the Cubs out. I think the Cubs are a scarier lineup than Miami and Cincinnati. So, I mean, I think if I'm Atlanta and I'm the GM and coaching staff here, I'm trying to win this game. I think we get a normal lineup. If we do get a normal lineup, ton of interest in the Braves in this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. Steve, what I will say is I think if we get a watered down lineup, I'm still going to have some slight interest because we're still going to have Nicky Lopez. We'll probably have Arcia. They'll play some different positions. We'll probably have Michael Harris. We'll probably get Adrianza. Like, these guys are still going to be fine. We're just going to get cheap Braves. Like, Travis d'Arnaud will probably play. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how the lineup shakes out, Stevie. But this is. If we get 18 lineup, I'm in. If we get B-team lineup, I'm definitely in.
I mean, it's going to be a lot cheaper, that's for sure. So if they do sit people, again, I think it's going to be Acuna, Olsen, Albies, Riley, the main sits. I think Ozuna still plays. I think one of Murphy or both of Murphy and d'Arnaud play. And then, like you said, I think Michael Harris probably plays. Rosario probably plays. So, we just get cheaper bats here.
Nicky Lopez will probably play. Arcia will probably play. I think they'll probably play Nicky at second, Arcia at short. Travis d'Arnaud will either – has he played first before? I feel like he's played first. But if not, he'll probably DH. First base – that first base.
Luke Williams can play first base.
Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But it'll still I think we're close. The lineup will still be reasonable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Luke Williams plays first and third. So
yeah, yep.
I don't know. The lineup's going to be pretty bad. Forrest Wall is going to crack the lineup, like you said. Pilar potentially. So wait and see. If it's a normal lineup, I'm interested either way. Just a lot more value if they don't. We got Dodgers at Colorado. sounds like Yarbrough's going to pitch here for the Dodgers. And then on the other side of this game, we got Chris Flexen. Same scenario for the Dodgers. The Braves have clinched. The Dodgers have absolutely nothing to play for now. They are locked into the 2 seed. They have absolutely nothing to play for now. Do they give the guys a day off here? 4-game series and Coors. Is this a spot we see the Dodgers rest people? So, I mean, the Dodgers and Giants weekend series, they got a travel day. After this game is over, do they just say, you know what? Hey, Mookie and Freeman and JD, take the day off.
Especially JD. I don't think JD plays in this game regardless. Like, he's the one guy that just needs to continue to take as many days because he's the one that gets hurt the most.
They gotta he has to be healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah. So I don't think JD plays. Muncy has had some slight injury issues. Like maybe he gets in. So because they got enough guys. Like Chris Taylor will play, Outman will play. It's kind of
outfielders,
yeah. The lineup they rolled out, I think, for the doubleheader yesterday.
Yep.
Like I feel like they sat Mookie, led off at Chris Taylor, played Freddie. I don't think they played JD, Muncy, Outman. And it got weird down. Kiki Hernandez played. Like, I think that's what we see tomorrow. Something in that effect. Maybe Mookie plays and Freddie gets the day off because Freddie didn't get that one off. But I think we see something similar tomorrow.
I mean, Mookie is chasing 40. Like, he's 1 home run away from 40, I think. So,
yeah.
Let's talk pitchers here. Any interest in Yarbrough?
Stevie, I want to have interest. Does he make it to 80 pitches in this spot? Maybe, but I don't know. So I think I'm going to take the fade for that reason, but I won't blame anyone for playing a $6,300 Ryan Yarbrough against this team, even in Colorado. Like he could have a nice game. And by nice, I mean, he gets 15 fantasy points. Like, I think you're fine today.
He's been working in this long reliever role. So they might open with Ferguson, I think. So they might open with Ferguson and then bring him in a long reliever role. If he starts, I have a little bit of interest because I do think if he starts, he has 80 pitches. Can he do something with 80 pitches? Well, the Rockies are awful, so sure. I don't have any interest in Chris Flexen, even if it's the Double-A lineup for the Cubs or the Dodgers.
Nope. Negative.
Chris Flexen is awful. Whoever cracks the lineup, just absolutely load up on the Dodgers bats here. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup. You could play Miguel Rojas against Chris Flexen. Oh,
you absolutely can. And let me say this, Stevie. For what it's worth, today is the day I have to break my Coors rule. But hear me out. It's not about Chris Flexen. It's 5 games, and I don't have enough elsewhere. You'll need some Coors bats today, I think, to make this work, especially like you said. I think you're going to get some cheap guys regardless. So I'd still get creative and not try to full stack them make some mini stacks or try to get creative. But today is definitely a day I don't think I'd be willing to fade the Dodgers because of the 5-game slate.
Yeah, love the Dodgers. As far as the Rockies bats, I mean, I have a little bit of interest. We talked about Shaheen yesterday on the podcast. He is just absolutely dominating the Rockies tonight in Coors. I have interest in Tolver, maybe a Chris Bryant, Rogers type of plays, maybe a mini stack here. I'm not stacking them, but a mini stack, they're cheap for being in Coors against Yarbrough, when he's on, he's an above average pitcher, but most of the time he's an average guy.
Yeah. I'm not doing but I don't like I said, I don't hate Chris Bryant like you mentioned. But all in all, man, I've just been not playing the Rockies because they've just been bad.
Oh yeah.
I don't have any other way to say it.
Yeah, they've been awful. So all right. We get into the biggest series of the weekend that starts on Thursday instead of Friday. We have a game that really matters. This is a control your own destiny series, really, where Seattle and Texas are at as far as the playoff run goes.
Texas has
Seattle
clinched the wild card spot.
Yeah, I mean Texas is in. Yes.
Yeah.
Are they in? No, they're
Yeah.
not in yet.
Yeah.
Are you sure? No, they're not clinched yet. Yeah, they're not clinched yet. They
sure?
have to win. They need 2 more wins.
I've been checking. Oh no! I'm wrong. Sorry.
They're in the lead of the wild card
They're
spot,
in the lead. They haven't won. Sorry.
They need 2 wins to clinch. So
yeah, my bad.
If they win, they're playing right now on Wednesday night. They're up 2-0 on the Angels. If they win that game, they will only need 1 game against Seattle this weekend to clinch.
I was looking at the wrong lettering. I was looking at the X and Y on the right side, and I looked at the W on the left, and I was like, wait a minute, no, they clinched. And I was like, wait a minute, but that doesn't make any sense there. I was like, well, it says they clinched, so, but yeah, sorry about that. You're correct.
No, you're good. If Seattle wins, they're up currently 1-0 on the Astros. If Seattle beats Houston on Wednesday night, they're a half a game up on Houston for the final wild card spot. So it's all kind of
this series has been very important.
Oh yeah. The Blue Jays, like they're slipping, man. Like they need to win some games as well. All right. This game's huge. This series is huge. This is going to be a very competitive baseball series, and it's going to be phenomenal to watch. Let's talk about it for fantasy purposes. It has a 7.5 total. Mariners are 125 favorite. Jordan Montgomery, Logan Gilbert. We're getting the studs. We're getting playoff atmosphere early. Talk to me here about Jordan Montgomery.
So this price feels much better for Jordan Montgomery. Like when he was up in that 9K range randomly for what felt like a month, I just didn't play him. I just wasn't playing him at all. Now we're getting him at 88K. He's facing Seattle. There are some strikeouts here. You know, I like it. I mean, he just saw this team, not long ago, but I'm willing to risk it at 8,800. I feel like the price is fair. I feel like Montgomery's solid. He's not going to go out here and get us 30 fantasy points, I don't think, although he did have 27 the last start. I still don't see a massive upside game. I think in this game, he's probably sitting around 20-ish fantasy points, and I think I'm cool with that on this 5-game slate.
He just dominated this team, and it's playoff atmosphere. I mean, you have to have a little interest. I hate pitchers that face the same team twice in a row, but 100 pitches last time out against Seattle. This is the first time since the end of July Jordan Montgomery threw 100-plus pitches, and only the 4th time this season. Playoff atmosphere. Huge atmosphere here. So, yeah, very interested in both of these pitchers. Logan Gilbert on the other side, an extremely tough matchup going up against Texas. I would typically not have a ton of interest. It's a 5-game slate. Pitching stinks on this slate. Give me the playoff atmosphere games, man. Like Miami, we talked about Luzardo, Gilbert and Montgomery, Bassett, like the 4 teams that like really need to win games. I'm going to play these pitchers.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about Gilbert at 9,700. I mean, it feels tough just because, Texas is, in my opinion, has been a more consistent offense than Seattle. I don't want to say they have been better on paper too, but I'm saying, Seattle probably has a little bit more upside if they really like start hitting the ball well because of all the power. But I don't know, man. I'm not thrilled about Gilbert. I feel like I'm going to take the fade, and if he burns me, burns me. I don't trust him as much as I trust Montgomery right now.
For what it's worth, I don't trust any of these 4 pitchers.
Totally get it. Yep.
But we got to play 2 of them on DraftKings. But yeah, I mean, just on my 3 teams, I'm really just going to mix in Bassett, Montgomery, Luzardo, Gilbert.
Yep.
And then, like, if we get bad lineups elsewhere, maybe I mix in some of these cheaper guys. But we have a question in chat. Derek wants to know, would we rather have Bassett or Montgomery? I think I'd rather have Bassett just because of, like, how right-handed New York is. And, I mean, Toronto needs to win as well. So I think I'd rather have Bassett upside-wise.
I will say this. I think you're going to see the Bassett-Montgomery combo a lot on the 5-gamer for what it's worth.
I think my main combo is going to be Luzardo Bassett, but we'll see.
I like it.
All right. Oh, bats. Man, this game's tough for bats. Like, you don't feel comfortable, like, pitching like spot wise for these bats, but man, the atmosphere is like, all right, I'm in. Let's take some shots. Let's talk Texas first. What do you like here for the Rangers?
Corey Seager at the top, no doubt about it. Adolis Garcia right behind him at 5K, and I think behind him is Simeon. Simeon's obviously going to have a lower K rate, probably going to be able to get on base, but Seager's just got, to me, the power and the low strikeouts. And, of course, Adolis Garcia is got the power to send one out of the park. So those are the three main guys. Robbie Grossman should play again today in this spot. He's 3,100. Don't hate him. Garver's been hitting well down the stretch here, as we close the season at 4,200. I don't hate him either. Once again, you talked about it being a playoff atmosphere. Definitely, I've been stacking Texas when nobody else stacks Texas. It's not going to stop today.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is a team that I love. You're uncomfortable about the matchup as far as facing Gilbert, but you're like, hey, I'm going to play the talent here. They're expensive. They should be lower owned on a 5-game slate. So, yeah, very interested in Texas. Evan Carter, I mean, we're seeing him now, 15, 18-ish games, and he keeps hitting. So I have interest in Evan Carter as well. Just want to throw his name out there. As far as Seattle, I mean, you attack the home run ceiling here. I mean, if Montgomery's off, you get upside from Julio Rodriguez, Teoscar Hernandez, Cal Riley. I mean, there's right-handed power in this lineup throughout. It's just they strike out a ton. And, like, if Montgomery's on, I mean, you're in trouble. But, like, this is the second time Montgomery's faced them in back-to-back starts. Like, maybe they have a beat on him, and we see a big game from Seattle in I mean, we're going to call these must-wins. Like, these are must-win games for Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. I mean, you mentioned all the names I would have mentioned. You got Ty France here at 3,300 if you want to sprinkle him in as well. I mean, they have to win. I think you play him. Jordan Montgomery, I think, is a better real-life pitcher than Gilbert right now. Gilbert may get a little better, the next year and year after that. But right now, I think Jordan Montgomery is better. But I still attack him with his power.
All right, let's play the morning grind game, and then we will get out of here. I didn't yawn once. What up?
Look at
that. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. Who do you got?
I don't know how this is going to shake out, but I do know the team is bad. I don't think he quite gets there, but I think he could. Give me Yarborough at 6,300.
I'm going to go Luke Weaver. I think the opportunity is there against a really high strikeout right-handed heavy team. He's shown flashes of upside from time to time this year, especially like over the last month and a half. So, maybe take some shots on Luke Weaver. Over 8K to score under 15. Who's your bust today? There's 4 guys that we really like, and all of them are in this price range. Who's your least favorite?
Gilbert at 97.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't hate it. I'm going to go Jordan Montgomery. I really like him. I think he's going to be the chalkier pitcher here, and I'm just going to play the Seattle side of this game.
As a sneak in before we close, I think Peterson's going to get too much ownership today for what it's worth at 7K. I really do.
Miami. Facing Chat, Derek says Jordan Alvarez, man. Guy is a monster. Over 4K to hit a home run. Who is going yard, not in Coors?
Man, I got to go with my boy Corey Seager at 6,400. Big time game. I like him a ton.
I'm going to go to Soler. Just absolutely not going to cover off the baseball against left-handed pitching this season.
Yes.
It's a matchup here with Peterson. Love Soler for a home run today. Under 4K to get 2 hits. Who's a cheap bet that you like? We should and potentially have a lot of them today.
Yeah, we should. I think, Stevie, Peralta's going to play from the Dodgers. Give me Peralta.
Take a Coors bat in this game.
You're right.
I'm not letting you take a Coors bat against Chris Flexen. What are you thinking?
Give me Ty France at 3,300.
Trying to garner the system here. What is happening? I'm gonna go Evan Carter. I talked about him when we were talking about the game. I like the upside for Carter. He's been hitting the ball really well. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Who's getting the job done today? Will thinking, hey, Stevie's done 3 podcasts. He's sleepy. I'm just gonna slide. Nope.
Give me Texas against Gilbert.
Not happening. All right. I am gonna say I think the Cubs bounce back and have a big game. Give me the Chicago Cubs to get the job done today.
Listen, the Cubs have had big games this whole series. Atlanta just keeps scoring runs late in the game to win. It's insane. I think they've led every game this series, and Atlanta closes it out.
How impressive of a season from Ronald Acuna, by the way. What a season from him. Just phenomenal. Like, is he MVP, you think?
I think he's got to be, Stevie. Like, because he's been consistent, too. Like, it's been like this from the first game, Stevie, all the way through. It's not like he had spots where it was just terrible for stretches. He's consistently produced week to week. To me, he's almost been a wire to wire. I think he wins it.
Yeah, I think he does too. I don't see how you can't give it to him, but
yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nah, man, I needed that laugh at the end. I appreciate it, brother. So, thanks for having me on. And NFL's here. NBA will be here later. MLB playoffs. NHL's cranking up. It's time. We're in that time.
Yeah, just started like working on the NBA morning grind schedule. So yeah, that's always a fun time of the year.
I'm sneakily a little ready for NBA, like at least for the first month, because NBA gets like that's people think MLB is a grind. NBA is a grind. My gosh, man. The injury reporting alone, like right out of the gate, is the grind.
Yeah. The second game where like everybody gets rolled out and tilts me, I'll be like, all right, where's baseball season?
Just send it, bring it back.
I don't know. I'm pretty tilted with baseball after the Mets debacle yesterday, with that baseball field. So maybe not. But hey, listen, if you were one of the people that read the MLB expert survey preseason, I did write up Ronald Acuna at 10-1 to win the MVP. So just saying. And also bet the Braves at 10-1 to win the World Series. So I'm going to see myself out on that note. I hope everyone has a fantastic Thursday. We're back Friday talking baseball. It's the weekend series. A lot of games matter. Hope everyone has a good one. We'll see you then.